Hi, this is Mike at Mike's Carburetor Parts. I'm going to be doing a series of videos on rebuilding this Rochester one-barrel carburetor. This is the Rochester Monojet. And first of all, I want to point out on this one where the carburetor number is. A lot of them are stamped here, but this one here is on a little tag in a circle here, and 7020014 looks like. That's your carburetor number. So you want to get that carburetor number and enter it into our search box, and it will come up and tell you which kit to use. And that's important. You want to get the right kit, and for kits it's all about the carburetor number. Don't go by application. Vehicles came with more than one carburetor, and sometimes, and you never know for sure whether they've been switched or not along the way, things like that. So don't depend on the application. So we're going to take it apart in this video, and I'm putting everything in a plastic bin here. I suggest taking lots of digital pictures as you take your carburetor apart. That'll help a lot in case you have a question about where something goes. Keep in mind, you can't be 100% sure that everything's where it's supposed to be, but that's where we start. I often have to refer to the picture to see how the throttle linkage goes or something like that, or when I take all this stuff apart, exactly how it goes. So this comes in 3 parts. Oops, I can't take that without getting this off first. It comes with your throttle body, the float bowl, and then the float bowl top. Okay. Take your time, just don't start ripping on these things. This is your float bowl top vent. Let's see here. Gotta leave that in for now. This is our pull off here. We'll take extra care taking these off, because it's easy to break them, and then you got a shaft to deal with that you can't buy. Oh, by golly, a broken screwdriver on that one. Okay, I'll get back to that here in a few minutes. Okay, this has a nitrofill float, and we recommend replacing. I gotta get a screwdriver. Yeah, always replace the nitrofill floats when you're doing a rebuild. We have to take this cam off before we can get the rest of it apart. Anyway, the black nitrofill float can absorb fuel over time. They're very hard to test other than to weigh them, and they're in grams, so this is like a jigsaw puzzle sometimes. That's just the way that goes, by the way. This is your metering rod arm. You want to be careful with that. This is just how it's in there correct. That goes just like that. And you got your little return spring here. Okay. Now there's something broken on this arm. I'm going to have to replace it. So I can't think of what it's supposed to look like right offhand, but we'll figure it out. Now let's take this apart. So we'll clean this in our ultrasonic cleaner. You probably won't have one of those, and certainly can't go out and buy one. They're like $2,500. Okay, I don't think I forgot anything there. Oh, I know that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there's the throttle body. On your throttle body, you don't need to bush them unless you've got free play, up and down free play. Okay, this one probably has a little more free play than it should, so it should be rebushed. And take the idle mixture screw out. We have idle mixture screws available. However, you generally have to go by size when you're trying to match up your idle mixture screw. We don't have a list of carburetor numbers to idle mixture screws that are big. Oh, I see why that's not coming off. There's a little clip on it. Okay. This is the one that you got to thread like a needle. Okay, just got to get it turned the right way. Alright, so now we can get our pump out. There's our pump arm. It sits on it like that. A lot of times the pump, now these probably the replaceable cup. That's probably what will come in the kit. Just replace the cup. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's on there. I can't remember right offhand. Okay, so there's your return spring. No check balls down there. We have this is your main discharge right here. It's got a little T on it. Just kind of wiggle it until it comes out like that. There's a little spring on it. You'll get a new one in your kit. At least our kit has a new one. Can't claim that all of them do. And then there's a check ball down there. There's your check ball. And what that check ball does, it stops up the hole so that when you let up on the accelerator and you want gas to fill up your accelerator pump well, and it'll suck in the gas. Otherwise you'll get vacuum from the engine will actually pull from here if that check ball is not there, and you won't get fuel in your accelerator pump, so you'll get a little hesitation. So the check ball does need to be there. I mention that because I get the question asked all the time, do I really need a check ball? Well, yes you do. Okay, got this nut on here with your fuel filter. Be sure to replace that. We do have these paper. This is a 1-inch fuel filter. Here's your return spring for the fuel filter. It needs to go in there. A little gland nut. Do not use Teflon tape when you put these back on. I do have like a little bit of liquid Teflon that I'll explain when I put together, but I can't tell you how many times I've found Teflon tape inside the float bowl. So it's not a good thing to use. Alright, throwing everything in, this is your little pin to hold your float on. I think we have a brass float that we replaced on this one. And we got the main jet down here. We do have main jets available for these. No reason to change the main jet unless you got an altitude problem or it's damaged or something like that. Here's the main jet. They're usually stamped on top the size. Just go from that. If you're up to like 10,000 feet, you might want to change your main jet down, say 2 sizes. They're in thousandths of an inch. And get this gasket off. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to have to go put this in the vise. Sometimes I put the screwdriver in there and then I bang on the top of it a few times. Yeah. Okay. Also, so you know that it's going to get put on exactly the way it came off, you just put a little scribe mark on there. I think these will only go one way, but I just thought I'd mention that. So I'll do that, and we'll clean it up, and then we'll come back and we'll do a video of putting it all back together. Thank you for watching.